Here I am in an old 1800s farm field, totally overgrown by trees, surrounded by stone walls. I found this place on arcgis.com, which it's a site that you can see aerial photographs from 1939. So I found that these were old, overgrown farm fields back then, which means that they must have been farm fields from prior to that, I'm gonna go try my luck. Hopefully I don't get skunked. Got a nice little signal down here somewhere. Sounds kind of queeny. It is out. Ah. Oh, it's a flat button. Look at that. Oh, it's nice and old. Clean it up, see if we can get a back mark off of it. Kind of a junky signal. Pretty much what I expected. Gigantic rivet that's still got a piece of leather on it. Not what I'm looking for, but definitely right time period. Interesting little signal. A little bit too choppy to be a coin, but it's the right depth, and you never know when you're digging in the woods. Oh, I see something. Looks like it's probably going to be a flat button. Oh, it's not though. Whoa. I gotta look that up, but I bet that is a seal, like a wax seal right there. That is sweet. I'd know if it was like a drawer pull because it'd be a threaded hole right there. I'm seeing this lettering here. That could be my first wax seal matrix thingy. Sweet. Sounds a little bigger than a coin, but it's nice and consistent in the copper range. 4.5 inches down. See if we can live dig something cool. It looks like it is something cool. That's a big old flat button. Oh, it might be a coin. That might be an old colonial. Maybe a large cent, but decently thick, really corroded though. And this one is still totally a mystery to me. But I think that I'm seeing a little bit of evidence of both here. It looks like that middle part right there almost looks like a shank was attached right there, but over on the side of it you can see like a little bit of ribbing, that could have been the edge of a coin. So I'm gonna have to clean that up and figure it out. Oh. Looks to be made of some sort of metal. It's like right on the surface, but it's got a nice penny-ish sound to it. And I dig penny-ish sounds. That's what I do. Oh, even further down, sounds even better. No, not so much. Some big weird bullet looking thing. Got this concave side and this big kind of rounded top. I have no idea what to make of that yet. On to the next. So far, that is the hit of the day right there. That sounds so large scenty. Time to find out. That is such a nice hit. Like 7 inches down. Very coiny. Oh, it's right here. What is it? Oh. Still don't know what it is, but that looks crazy large scenty to me. Nice large scent. Look at that. Oh yeah. It's a big fat large scent too. See that nice perfect 1 scent right there? Yes. I was just thinking to myself like literally 2 minutes ago that I haven't found one of these in years. Despite how much I go out. I'm gonna go clean this up and bring it right back. Large scent. Decided to clean this right here in front of you. So we can both find out the date at the same time. Nice big clear 1 scent right there. See that? Woo! Here's the face. You know nothing about it yet. Oh, see the nice big Liberty right there. Beauty. Yeah, that's what I think we got here. I think we've got a nice 1837 large scent right there. Ah, that just made my day. I'm gonna clean that up a lot nicer when I get home. Cool little sound right there. It's really jumpy, but it's deep. Deep is old. And old is fun. And fun is cool. That's where I'm going to stop. I'm not going to say any more about that. Starting to sound pretty good. Time once again for the knife. What is that? Oh, I bet it's like a frame of an old buckle. It's pretty ornate. Hollow on the back. I don't know, it could be an old, like little, like locket frame or something even. Let's clean it up. Check it out. Gotta love this one. Amongst this little party spot looking thing with a fire pit and a bunch of trash at it, somebody leaves this awesome D-handle shovel. I'll take that. I like mine better, but I'll take that. Oh, it was 12 bucks. With depreciation, that's the $10.38 shovel. Score. Here's a big old oxen shoe for you. A lot like a horseshoe, but for an ox. They would have had two of these because oxen have cloved hooves, which means that they're split. So they had one on one side and one on the other side. That's cool. That's old. Old is fun. Doesn't get any more penny than that. It's right on the surface, but I'll give it a shot. Before my hands freeze off. This is like 3 feet away from where I dug a large cent a minute ago. And it's down a little bit deeper now. Little debuckle. Guy probably tripped and like his shoe buckle broke off and he fell flat on his face and dropped a huge larcet right over there. How about it? Untold stories of history. Figured I'd show one of these off before I throw it away. These are old paper shotgun shells. Pre-plastic. They used paper for most of the shell. You can see that kind of reddish, old cardboardy paper in there with this brass tip. So I am finding these by the handful today. I already got a half a bucket of them at home, so I can't stand to keep any more of this junk. Gone. Here's one I don't see too often. An old dog collar with a couple of tags on it. Bet if I clean these up I can figure out the name of the dog. Hopefully there isn't a dog skeleton underneath here.
And we are back at home for the exciting wrap-up of all the cool history found today. Starting in the back, we've got a pair of dog tags from Jamestown from 1986. I couldn't figure out the name of the dog, but I could figure out that the owners were responsible enough to pay their dog tax and get their animal vaccinated and all that. I cut off the collar because I don't want a gross piece of webbing from 1986 sitting around my house. Selection of old bullets. This one I'm not really sure about because it's got this strange sort of series of grooves in it that looks like really rough rifling, but it's this wide dome-like size with this huge depression in the middle and this kind of hollow point in the front. I found a couple of them like these, and I'm assuming they're bullets. They're big chunks of lead, you know, that look like they're all mashed up, but I really haven't found anything like it online. If you have any information on it, definitely comment it so I can correct myself. Here's another, probably a nice old powder rifle bullet fired, kind of mini ball style. This mystery copper here, which is still just as confounding as when I pulled it out of the ground. It's like the thickness of an old, copper coin, like a colonial coin, but it's got this hole in the middle and it's so corroded I can't really see any details. And I can't see where they would have fashioned a shank onto it if it was an old flat button or a dandy button. But either way, I'd say that that is a piece of colonial history, and what it could be is an old colonial copper that somebody drilled through later on in its life to be like a pendant. So that's pretty cool. This thing over here that I thought was like a stamp matrix for, making wax seals and stamps is actually the badge off of a old saw from the 1850s to 1870s. It says Richard Grover and Sons, Sheffield use. And apparently these were saws made in Sheffield, England from, I believe, the 1700s all the way up to the mid to late 1800s. And looking up the style of badge, this is one found off of a 1850 to 1870 handsaw. So not as cool as what I thought it was originally, but still pretty cool. And pretty cool that it actually found its way into like a field in Jamestown, Rhode Island. Nice little copper frame sort of thing. I'm thinking that it could be either a frame off of a buckle, like a nice kind of ornate round buckle, or the frame of an old miniature picture. There could have been like a tiny little portrait inside of here. But pretty ornate, definitely very old. You can really tell by the patina how old things are sometimes, and I'd say this is early 1800s. So, not really sure, but it's going to have a nice home in my junk bin. Definitely a frame off of an old buckle, maybe even like a sash buckle. You can see these little tabs right there. One broke off right here where they would have had some sort of like a center pin that fabric would have gone through, making it the buckle. Tough to date, but I'd say probably early 1800s, just like everything else over there. Kind of cool. Little D buckle, and these guys would have had like a little iron pin bent around right here that went all the way to the end, just like every buckle that you see these days. The iron pin would have flipped up so you could put the piece of leather, or if it was a shoe cloth or whatever, through it, and then buckle that onto it. But the iron always rots away, so you're just left with this frame of an old D-buckle, probably early 1800s as well. And a nice old flat button that is too corroded for me to get a date off of, or a back mark rather, but I rubbed through the corrosion to see some gilting, so I'd say early 1800s gilt flat button. Very cool find. I always like finding those. And then the thing that made my day, a 1837 large cent, which is just in stellar condition for how long it must have been in the ground. The date's a little sketchy, but you can still see it. And the details on the bust are awesome. The Liberty on the headband is so defined. Really, really good, clear details on the back. United States of America, 1 cent. And this is the third one of these that I've ever found. And the weird thing is that the first two were in a stack together. I thought they were a beer can. I just kind of dug it for fun. And I flipped it out of the ground, and I saw this large cent back sticking out of the ground on the pile that I found. And I kind of just touched it with my finger, and it slid off of another one. So I was totally just enamored with these things ever since I found those. And those two were the years 1827 and 1847. And this one, the third one that I've ever found, is in 1837. So out of all the years, like the 50 so years that they made these, the only years that I've found are 1827, 37, and 47. Which is kind of weird, auspicious. Take it to mean what you will. I take it to mean that I have to find all the other years of large cent. So that's the wrap up on a nice half day in an old farm field in Jamestown. If you like the video, comment, like, subscribe, keep digging up cool stuff.